Good morning. Today we'd like to talk about obturating materials other than sealers. So, what are these obturating materials as such? They are core filling materials, sealers, and retrograde filling materials. So, coming to classification, according to Grossman, the materials used for root canal obturation are silver cones, gutta-percha, and mainly solids, plastics, and cements and pastes. So under plastics we have gutta-percha and resilon. Under solids we have silver points and stainless steel. And under cements and paste we have hydron, MTA, calcium phosphate, and gutta-flow. Under orthograde materials we have solids, semi-solids, and paste. Under solids we have semi-rigid, rigid. Under semi-rigid we have silver cones and stainless steel points. Under rigid we have vitalium and chromium cobalt alloys. Under semi-solids we have gutta-percha. Under paste, zinc oxide containing paste, resin types of resin containing paste, MTA, and formaldehyde paste. So coming to retrograde filling materials, we have metals, dental cements, and resins, and recent advances. Under metals, we have silver amalgam alloy. Under the metals, under dental cements, we have zinc oxide eugenol, base cements, GIC, MTA, calcium enriched mixture, calcium phosphate cement. Under resins, we have composite cements, compomer, diatet, epoxy resin, resin-based materials, and polymethyl methacrylate bone cements, and recent advances. So this is another classification. Under sealers, paste in the form of powder and liquid, paste and paste, etc. comes under type 1. And filling materials without any core. That means silver plus core comes under type 1. Silver without core or sealer comes under type 2. So coming to gutta-percha. Gutta-percha is a common and most commonly and most widely used obturating material, as you all know about this from your second year. So it's actually introduced by Bowman in 1967. He was the first one who used gutta-percha as root canal filling material, and later on 1887 SS White Company has introduced it's the first one to start the commercial manufacture of gutta-percha points as obturating material. And in 1893, Rollins used gutta-percha with pure oxide of mercury in the root canals. And in 1914, Callahan, he softened and dissolved this gutta-percha without use of rosins, and then used for obturation as a paste. Then in 1959, Engel and Levin proposed standardization of root canal instruments or filling materials. As you all know about this standardization by Engel and Levin. Then actually gutta-percha means gutta means gum and pacha means name of the tree in Malay language, because it's mostly seen and available in Malaysia and Indonesia. So it was initially used as a restorative material, but now it is used most commonly as endodontic filling material. And history we have discussed, and it is a chemical structure of gutta-percha. The basic difference from natural rubber is it's a trans isomer of polyisoprene. So it tends to crystallize, and it's more brittle and less elastic than natural rubber. And in crude form, the composition of gutta-percha is 75 to 82% of gutta, and 14 to 16% of alban, and 4 to 6% of fluavel. It also consists of tannin, salts, and saccharin. So according to Engel, the composition is zinc oxide 59 to 76%, whereas according to Grossman it is 66%, and 18 to 22% of gutta-percha, and 20% of Grossman, according to Grossman. So this gutta-percha acts as a matrix, where zinc oxide is a filler with a heavy metal sulfate, and waxes, resins, coloring agents, and antioxidant agents. How we store this gutta-percha? When stored for longer periods, it becomes brittle by aging. So what we have to do, according to Sorin et al., we can immerse it in hot water, means at least the temperature must be 60, around 60 degrees, until the grasping forceps indents, a notch will be formed on the softened gatapacha. So then remove it from the hot water and immediately quench it in cold water, that is less than 20 degrees, for few seconds. Then sterilized and used for obturation. It is ready for obturation. So what are the different phases of gatapacha? It actually available in two phases, alpha and beta. Both differ in molecular distance and single bond form. So this alpha form is a direct form or raw form of the gatapacha, and beta form is a commercial form. So it's purified. So the basic difference are alpha is a low viscous, beta phase is of high viscosity, where gatapacha in alpha phase is sticky, tacky, and non-compactable, whereas in beta phase it has a stickiness, reduced stickiness, and we can see it as a solid and compactable. And no elongation is seen in alpha, but elongation it is flexible under beta phase, and shrinkage is 2.2% in alpha phase and 2.6% in beta phase. So how this gatapacha is available? The gatapacha is available in as standard cones, that is according to ISO standardized sizes, with a 2% taper, and we can have greater taper points of 4% taper, 6% taper, and 8% taper. And non-standardized cones will be seen or available under the sizes like extra fine, fine, medium fine, fine, medium large, and large. And also this gatapacha available as pellets and bars, which can be used as a thermoplasticized obturation material. Example in Obtura 2 or Obtura 1 systems. Pre-coated core carrier gatapacha, example Thermofill, are successful. And gatapacha is also available in the form of powder, but in combination with a resin-based sealer as a core material. For example, Gataflow. And it is also available as medicated gatapacha points containing calcium hydroxide, iodoform, and chlorhexidine. And we have gatapacha sealers also in the form of chlorpacha and eucopacha. The main advantages of this gatapacha points are easily sterilizable, they're compactable, and plasticity. On heating it expands, which accounts for increased volume so that it can be compacted into the root canal, and it is least toxic unless if it is extended or into the periapical tissues, and it's very opaque. Disadvantages: lack of rigidity, it has limited shelf life, it lacks the adhesive quality, that is it can't adhere to the root canal dentin, so it needs a sealer to adhere, and it is easily displaced by pressure. So how it can be sterilized? According to Senia et al., it can be sterilized by immersing into 5.25% of sodium hypochlorite at least for 1 minute to kill all the bacteria on the surface of it, and also bacteria including spores. So no adverse effect on the gatapacha points if they are immersed in 5.25% of sodium hypochlorite. Then we can see before going into the medicated gatapacha, I need to tell what are the properties of this gatapacha. So these properties of gatapacha are biocompatible, ductility, melting point, that is at 60 degrees, till 60 degrees it can resist, and dimensionally it is stable, it expands on heating and it shrinks on cooling, so it is ease of handling. So when when we heat the gatapacha points, it accounts for increased volume. At this time, we have to compact into the root canal. Afterwards, when it returns to the normal temperature, it shrinks. So, vertical pressure should be applied in all warm gatapacha techniques. So, aging of the gatapacha causes brittleness because of the oxidation process. So, I discussed how to remove these oxides by immersing in hot water, then quenching cold water, etc. And storage for a long period causes deterioration. And disinfection we already discussed. and disadvantage. And it is soluble in chloroform and eucalyptus solutions. This we had to remember. If at all we had to make a paste form or in a like a tailor-made GP, we had to just dip in the chloroform or eucalyptus oil. Then comes to medicated GP. Um, Actually, it's also it's available in three forms: calcium hydroxide containing iodoform and chlorhexidine. Calcium hydroxide containing Gatapacha is available from 15 to 140 size, containing 58% of calcium hydroxide in a matrix of 42% GP Gatapacha. And main disadvantage is actually the strength is low for this and is available in calcium hydroxide plus points. Coming to chlorhexidine containing Gatapacha is also known as active points. So it is embedded in 5% of chlorhexidine diacetate, which is used as an intracanal medicament. And we have Gatapacha plus GIC impregnated, where it contains 8% of GIC, along with, which are used along with the GIC paste sealers for better sealing ability and antibacterial activity, and it's highly radiopaque, so very much detectable under the radiographs, and it can be used as a single cone technique. So this active GP, when extended beyond your working time, it's become difficult to handle this. Coming to solid core material, under this we have silver points. Jasper in 1941 introduced this as a root canal, root canal filling material. Because of the rigidity provided by this silver cones, it made easy placement and also control on the length of the topas. So we have that length control on for this silver points, and they can't be used in a void canal because they're not flexible. That is a main disadvantage. Due to their high corrosion rate, they're not used nowadays. This corrosion is because of presence of copper and nickel. This is a silver point obturation we can see. This was used a long back, maybe 10 to 20 years back or 30 years back. They used to do all the obturations with silver points. Only thing is removal is a bit difficult, and their corrosion causes very much pain to the patient, and sometimes while removing the silver cones the tooth may go for fracture. So the composition of silver points, the silver is 99.8%, nickel and copper. So indications, we can use them in fine tortuous canals that cannot be filled properly by Gatapacha points. And example like buccal canals of the maxillary molars, mesial canals of the mandibular molars, and maxillary first premolars with 2 to 3 canals. And also they can be used in the small and calcified round tapered canals. So incompletely formed, that is open apex and large canals like maxillary anterior teeth can't be are contraindicated for silver cones. And also surgical cases where we need a root resection, so in these cases silver cones are avoided. And also for teeth which are going for post and core, we should not use silver points. As I told already, the advantages are they are good radiopaque as the silver is present there, and accurately standardized and calibrated, easily negotiated in small curved canals, easy to handle, and used by in bypassing a ledge or broken instrument, and they are stable. Disadvantages, they do not seal well laterally and apically because of lack of plasticity, inability to conform to the prepared canal space, and leaves too much of space because they are not available in a taper forms like your Gatapacha as according to ISO standardized sizes. And corrosion, as I said, they are non-compressible. Mechanically, they irritate the pulpal tissue if at all they are gone beyond the apical foramen or minor constrictor, and very difficult to remove after obturation. And post paste preparation also we can't do with the silver core. Coming to titanium, after the silver cone, the titanium is introduced by Messing in 1980. Advantages are there. In spite of that, titanium is very strong. They are not compressible. They are not flexible, so we can't use this titanium. Only thing is they are biocompatible to the tissues. That's all. And we have new solid core filling materials. For example, Resilon. Resilon is mainly used in monoblock concept. You all know resin-based obturating systems where this monoblock concept is um, emerged with this techniques. And What is this? The inert, what do you say, that three-dimensional filling of the root canal, and from the moisture as well as from the air, they're very sealed properly in the monoblock concept. So the real seal, Resilon, they are all polycaprolactone core materials with a difunctional methacrylate resins, bioactive glass, bismuth and barium salts as fillers, and some pigments in them, used along with the resin-based sealer. So resin 4 bonds to resin sealer. This gives you a monoblock where there is an increased coronal seal and increased, what do you say, that they strengthen the root. So this Resilon based obturating systems have two benefits. First is, we can see two interfaces here, that is Gatapacha and Sila interface and tooth and Sila interface. In these interfaces, the seal becomes more efficient. So monoblock concept here, the Resilon is used under monoblock concept. So the Resilon system consists of a primer, sealer, synthetic polymer points acts as a core materials. Coming to paste filling materials, the filling materials are available in form of paste, and majority of this paste are zinc oxide containing paste. So it's a major component in the paste of these paste filling materials. Because of the solubility of zinc oxide, they are not effective core filling materials. After a few days or few years, they dissolve, leaving a space which again lodges the microorganisms, giving a chance to reinfection. A paste filling material that has been widely used is a Russian red. It's a resin type of material known as Russian red, all in European countries, Asia and Pacific rim nations. And Trialment's pad, SPAD, is another resin based paste material widely used in Europe. And coming to MTA, as you all know, MTA as a pulp capping material, perforation repair material, root end filling material, apical barrier, and whatnot, but it can also be used as a paste filling material for obturation. And also we have paraformaldehyde paste, which is considered to be as a sealer, and this paste have antimicrobial property, mummifying effects, but unfortunately it's very toxic to the periapical tissues. If at all it gone beyond, if not even gone beyond, if it is near to the apical foramen. N2 paste and RC2B are very famous under this paraformaldehyde paste. But N2 is a extremely toxic paste. So nowadays these are totally avoided as a endodontic materials. Coming to retrograde filling materials, already we have discussed a few. What comes under this retrograde? Retrograde means from the apical foramen you will fill the 3 mm from the apical foramen in endodontic surgeries, apical surgeries, that is apicectomies. So the disadvantages are MDA, calcium hydroxide mixture, calcium phosphate cements, biodentin, bioaggregate, and endosequence. So this finishes are root canal filling materials other than sealers. So other than sealers, we have Gatapacha and as well as paste form, filling materials, solid core carriers, and these are all orthogate, and these are, these few 5 to 6 are retrograde filling materials. This completes the chapter totally about the obturating materials. The sealers are already discussed for you. So wait for obturation in coming classes. Thank you for listening.